Okay.
All right. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
How are you doing, Ike? How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm doing good. I'm blessed to have you on this show.
It's great to see you finally.
You know, a lot of people don't even know how I started this whole thing.
Tell me about it. How did you start?
Because I think when Europe got locked down,
Yes.
and it was very boring to be in the house all the time, in the room every day, all the time, and you can't even go out.
Right.
So I was not even active on Instagram then. So
Okay.
I think I took my sister's phone, and she was following you on Instagram.
Okay.
So I saw your lives. I think the first live I saw from you was it you and Reggie Rackstone, I think.
Yeah, that was a very
yeah, I think you and Reggie Rackstone, and I'm like, yeah, but I think I can do something, because a lot of people are in the house, and then out of boredom I started doing something, and gradually I got people from north, south coming through before I realized I had like Joe Meteo, I had I had great people.
My show started because I have a pre-existing condition. I'm asthmatic, so it means I had to be home. I didn't have to be out there working.
Yeah.
So the first few days I was dying. I'm not used to being in the same space and doing nothing, watching CNN and watching bad news all day. I was going crazy. So I decided to, I don't know how this whole thing. I think it was a friend of mine called Kofi Okyere, who is actually the executive producer of Lockdown GH. So I was like, okay, so
yeah,
this is how we started. My friends would call me like 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening, and then we set up a WhatsApp group where we all went out to buy like gym equipment. Stephen Appiah, he's always training, anyways. So we started training, and then we'll film, video call ourselves every day, like 3 times in a day. And it's all the birth of Lockdown GH, and I have enjoyed every bit of it. I mean, it's unfortunate that I can't do it, or I don't do it as often as I did before, because Ghana is partially open, and I have to go out to work.
And I don't know how you do it.
I'm glad we also inspired someone like you to start your own show.
Yeah, and I was thinking about how you are able to manage your internet connections without any problem. Maybe some of the guests sometimes have issues with connection.
That's the worst bit of the show. Like, so far, if you ask me, the lowest aspect of the show, it's our internet. There are times that have a very great guest who has so much to say, and then because of the internet, Charlie, It just doesn't go well.
Yeah.
That really kills me. That really kills me. But you know, so far so good. We're happy with how things have gone. But what do you do in France? I know you're the one supposed to ask questions, so I'll let you do it. What do you do in France?
No, don't worry. I in France I do a lot of things, you know. I'm into ministry, and also I work with a company called Messen. I don't think you know.
Ministry of Education or Ministry of
No. It's like church.
I'm messing with you.
Church. Yeah. No, don't worry.
I'm messing with you.
No, it's church and also I work with a company that is my full-time job as a customer service agent.
Okay.
It's called Messen. We do like flights, airplane pass. So we have people who produce those parts for the flights and motor brakes, you know, motorbike, their brakes. Yeah. So that is what I do. So
yeah, that must be exciting.
yeah. So to the people, I know there are some people watching from Europe who might not know you, and how do you have to? I know a lot of people don't like this question and who is or what is now. So just a small presentation of yourself to the people watching from Europe who might not know who KOD is. Yeah.
So my name is Kofi Okyere Darko. It's a mouthful. So usually my friends on the streets call me KOD, Kofi Okyere Darko. Obviously, I'm sure by now you know that I'm reaching out from Ghana in West Africa. I'm a broadcaster. I've been doing radio and TV for the last 24 years. I'm not that old. I only turned 42 this year in January. And I own a clothing line called 1957. 1957 is Ghana's independence year.
Yeah. The network, I think the network is a bit, the network is breaking. Yeah.
I can see you.
Yeah, but I have issues with your network. Yeah, like you are off. I only hear your voice. It's now good, I think. No. Sorry for the network, guys. I have to bring him back on the line. I think the network is breaking.
Is it better? Is it better?
Yes. Now better. Yeah. It's okay.
Right. Like I so can't stand this thing. Yeah, this internet thing. Right.
No, it's normal.
Okay. Yeah. So like I said, I own it. Where did you get to? What did you hear?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay. So I said that I'm a broadcaster. I've been doing it for 24 years, doing TV for 24 years. I own a clothing line called 1957 after Ghana's independence year. I chose that name because, you know, our independence itself is one that represents liberation, not just for Ghana, but total emancipation of the Black race. I don't know if you were following events recently when, you know, quite a number of people worldwide decided to go out and demonstrate. I was one of those out in Ghana because I am 1957. And, you know, my brothers and sisters worldwide, people of African origin are being oppressed. Definitely, I can't be quiet. I need to be out there, you know, to demonstrate. There are other people who thought, well, Africa is very far from the United States. If something is happening to people in that part of the world,
but it's a global thing. It's a global crisis. Like,
I mean, I took that pretty. I was very sad about that because I think that not just Africa, but you know, people who live in the Western Hemisphere, people who live in Black people who were sent out as slaves are originally from West Africa.
Yeah.
No other part of Africa but West Africa.
West Africa, yeah.
Exactly. So, for me, I thought the whole of West Africa should have been up in arms in support of our brothers and sisters who are, you know, going through that struggle out there. I'm the last of 7 children. I have many siblings. I have more than 40 nephews and nieces. And I'm married to arguably one of the finest fashion designers in Africa. Her name is
Yeah, I
Kofi.
watched her video today.
Yeah, okay. And I have two girls, Ohima and Sarah.
All right.
Right.
All right.
So that's about it. I mean, unless we have any specifics.
Thank you very much. So what is the motivation behind what you do, like radio, TV, for 24 years? How do you do it?
Wow. I let me tell you the funny thing. The first time I went on radio, I think I was probably about 7 years. There was a show on GBC radio. I don't even know the name of the show, but then my dad had a friend called Emilia Cromwell Adama, you know, the old school GBC. We had only one, the state broadcaster, and she had a show for children. So, I mean, I went to GBC one day, and then I told her, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Maybe I was a child. I mean, children go through different phases of deciding on wherever to settle, but I think I liked it. And growing up, I've always been a creative person. It's either I'm drawing, it's either I'm probably playing drums and disturbing my neighbors, or anything that's creative. I've always been that kind of person. So when I look back, I'm not too surprised at where I am. This is where I'm supposed to be, doing something in the creative industry.
So from infancy, did you had it in mind?
I have. It was either I was going to be in the army or do something in the creative art. And
In the army.
If you've seen my pictures, right from when I was very young, right from when I was about age 8, I had a uniform.
Okay.
I had my military uniform. I was one of those kids. I had a complete Michael Jackson outfit with the white gloves and everything. So I was either going to be in the army or be in the creative industry. I think I didn't end up singing because I don't really own a voice. But then again, I've worked with undoubtedly some of the finest musicians we've had in Ghana in the last maybe 22 years or so. You know, some of them have worked through me. I was Tiny's first manager, 4X4's first manager, Oforian Ponce's first manager. We found Kofi B. I managed Nana Kwame at some point. I managed 4X4. I think that Wuta and Prior. The last time I did music was with Easy. After she left, my nephew Richie was like, okay, like, Uncle KOD, I know you've not worked with a woman before, but come on, Easy is very passionate, she's very dedicated, and she wants to work. So go on with it. I'm like, okay, let's go. And that was the last time I worked in the music field. I mean, I am able to work with musicians to bring out magic. The only thing is that I don't own a voice, but I can tell you how you should sing to make it work.
Yeah, and that part to me is how do you do it? What does one need to be able to manage an artist?
I think the first thing is, I mean, initially when we started, it was just doing it for fun. So we didn't do the whole paperwork.
Yeah,
we were writing an agreement. You know, it was just we enjoyed what we're doing. We've always, I mean, I started working. Okay, when I was a teenager, like between 15, 16, 17, what I did whenever I went on vacation was to sell cassettes, you know, and cassettes.
The old thing, yeah.
Cassette tapes. I used to sell that at the shop owned by Daddy Lumba. And when we're done, at the end of the day, would render sales to Despite, Father Dixon and Despite. So that also got me to meet a lot of musicians. So I think that's how the love for music actually started, because I met Oforian Ponsa through Daddy Lumba. That's how I met him. After they recorded the first album, he recorded what was the name of that album? I think the Kofi Okyere album with Oforian Ponsa. Yeah, I was there when he started. So you know, when they fell out, I became his manager automatically, and the music life started.
I know of only Prior. I know I knew that you were the one, you were the person behind Prior, but nobody told me that. But I just look at the way things are going, how you were with them.
And even with Prior, I was part of an organization. You know, at that time I'd done a lot of music management and production, but then I was part of the team that discovered them at Nescafe African Revelations. There was a TV show called NAL something. Yeah, that's like way back in 2004, I think. So when they won, I automatically became their manager.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
All right.
Wuta as well, because Wuta was part of that competition.
Yeah.
And they were first runners up, and I thought these guys are so talented. We won't let them go to waste, so we signed them up.
What has been the most challenging aspect of managing artists?
Especially if you're not dealing with one person and you're dealing with a group, they all have their, opinions of how they want things done. Sadly, when they come in at first, they are coming with their hands behind them. They are so respectful. And then fame sets in, all the girls want to take pictures with them. They start meeting all the people that they only could have dreamt of back in the day. And then they feel that, okay, like I'm a musician, but I'm a star now and I'm bigger than you. That's where the challenge is.
So what happens when these fame sets in?
At that point, they decide to want to be the ones to call the shots.
Yeah, they decide.
If you're dealing with someone like me as a musician, I sign you, I make you a star, and then you want to dictate as to what I do. Nah, that won't work. No way. I mean, because in the last how many years, musicians that I've worked with, they've come and gone. I've been here 24 years. Like, how many of them have been consistent in the last 24 years? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think the very humble musicians have been around for some time, and they've actually proven that, beyond music, they have a lot to keep them going.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. So getting back to how you started radio, TV, and everything, what has been the most challenging aspect, the most challenging thing you had to deal with?
Wow, challenging. See, I see what a lot of us perceive as challenges to be opportunities. The kind of person who would even look at the good side of losing my dad or my mom. I've lost both of them. Do you understand?
Wow.
So when something goes wrong in my life, I don't entirely see them as a challenge. I see them as an opportunity. I see them as a learning curve for me. Mm-hmm. So when something goes bad in my life, I don't see them like a lot of people would perceive them. For me, it's more of, oh, this thing has happened, so you learn from it and become a better person. I generally believe, for instance, in making mistakes. I believe in making more mistakes and learning anew. So when I go through a low patch, for me it's just a learning curve. I never see it as a hurdle. Yeah.
All right. So for example, what you do, I mean, I believe a lot of people have started the same thing you are doing, and maybe like 2 years or 1 year they quit. Some will be months. So what have been that inspiration or that motivation behind what you do?
I think it's more of being passionate about whatever you love. And from what I said initially, that everything that I do, I've always been me from day one. There's a song by Sting that had lyrics like, it was many years ago that I became what I am. I was lost in this life like an innocent lamb. So I always knew what I wanted to do. I always knew what I wanted to become. I was not, obviously, I had people who gave me opportunities, who made it happen. But then I always knew what I wanted to do. So if there's a hurdle, you just face it, make sure that you come out victorious, and you just move on. That's life.
I have some few girls here in Europe, here in France, and they always talk to me about modeling, like they have a passion for modeling and all that. I remember I told one that, hey, you need to go and see KOD. Maybe he can host you in one of his events or something of that sort. Yeah. I mean, talk to me if someone aspires. Let me start from, how did you become a fashion, a modeling, let's say a modeling organizer or something?
Yeah, fashion designer and organizer.
Fashion designing, yeah.
When I was in secondary school, my cousin, I have a cousin called Benjilo. He was very famous in the 1990s.
Okay.
He owned the biggest clothing shop in Ghana. It was called Benjilo Fabrics.
Okay, I heard of that.
Yeah, you did. I was one of those kids who went to school every time with new school uniform. So my school uniforms were
clean.
I got new school uniforms every time. They didn't have to go for the year. And obviously, I'm an artist as well. I'm a fine artist. I draw.
Yeah.
So most of the tailors I worked with, they got things made for me based on my own personal designs.
Yeah.
And one of the things I wanted to learn to do, I don't know, I thought staying at home after my O levels, I think it was like 3 months to wait for your results. I wanted to do something in the area of fashion. I wanted to learn to sew.
Yeah.
But then I bombed my O level mathematics. So I had to do a research. Yeah. I had to do a research, and that did not encourage me to do my to pursue the fashion aspect of my life. And then years after, I've had like some incredible friends in the fashion industry, Kofi and of blessed memory, Maoli Kofi Okujeto, Kwesinti, and these guys they make clothes for me. But usually when I go to the shop, I'd always go like, okay, let's get it done like this. Let's put this here. Let's do this. Let's do this. And my friend Kwekuti was going into the Big Brother Africa house, and he told me to make something for him for his grand entry. So I put something on paper, went to Nima. I went to Nima, met this tailor, and told him this is how I want it done. And we got it done and gave it to Kwekuti and wore it when he was entering the Big Brother house. But commercially deciding to do fashion was actually when I met my wife, Ophelia. I mean, with everything that she does and knowing me, like I'm a bit too known when it comes to what I wear. Like I want it like this, okay, let's do it like this, let's fix it like that. And she's like, but if you're doing all these, why don't you just start your own thing? Jay-Z has his clothing line, PDD has his Sean Combs, and he's not the one who sits down to sew. But it's just based on
they have the idea and the stuff.
They don't even need to have the ideas.
Yeah.
It's just based on the relevance they have in the industry.
Of course.
So use that relevance to your benefit.
Of course.
And around that time, we had launched her brand. We had our first daughter, Ohima, and had launched Ohima Kits, the children's line. We had launched Ohima's Kits. And then we launched 1957.
Oh, so that is all.
That was it.
So I mean, is it doing good? Is it the way you wanted it to go?
Well, I would say that 1957 started very well. Like back in the day, all those who are wearing what you're wearing now in Ghana, they didn't call it kaftan. They'll say, I want to wear 1957. That means they wanted to wear kaftan.
Okay.
That's how well we started.
All right.
But if you ask me the story about 1957 and where we could have been, I think the challenge was the fact that fashion was just one of the things I've always done. Well, I've done in the last 6 years. My radio shows, hosting events, those are more of the things that took a lot more of my time. And you have to be very, very, very dedicated if you want to shine in the fashion industry. And very often people would describe me and take out even the fashion aspect.
Yeah.
So when finally I decided to, not too long ago, decided to say bye-bye to radio. I don't think I'm going to do radio full-time again. I'm done. I'm done with that.
Okay.
No, totally, yeah. Totally.
So what next?
Well, I'm doing 1957. I have a show that's supposed to should have started tomorrow on GH1, a new show called KOD Meets, but we want to give it a lot more hype and put a few things together. So it's going to be launched next. The premiere is going to be next Sunday at 8:30 on GH1 TV.
On GH1 TV. Will there be a YouTube version for the people living outside?
Yes. Say that again.
Will there be a YouTube version for the people living outside?
My producers are going to work on that. They've told me that we're going to have every episode on YouTube as well.
Yeah. All right. So when it's available, I'll try and put it on my page for my people living in Europe also to have a taste of how it looks like. I've already seen some excerpts of it, and I think it will be very great. So So I want you to. I have a lot of people online. I know Stella, you are watching. I have a lot of people who have started modeling and doing something in Europe.
Yes.
But
So,
in
I was talking. Yeah, I have
yeah.
these events that we organize every year. It was always part of Ghana's annual independence celebrations. It's called Rhythms on the Runway. It's the biggest fashion event in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that for about we've done about 7 or 8 editions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at a point I was not consistent because of all the other things I do. That's what happens. Sometimes when you do so many things,
Yeah.
you're not able to specialize in one area. But then last year we had the biggest one at the Christian Borg Castle. That's the Osu Castle. And you know, BBC came down to cover it. It was recorded for a late transmission on TV. Rhythms on the Runway is the biggest fashion event in Ghana, and the great thing about it is that it's not just about fashion from Ghana, but it tells the Pan-African fashion story. So we've had fashion designers from different parts of the world, different parts of Africa, and also people of African origin in the diaspora are always welcome to be part of Rhythms on the Runway.
All right. So you see the question on the screen from one of them. I don't know if you want to
What
answer.
advice will you give a model based in Europe who wants to have projects in Ghana? Well, it depends on the project in Ghana. What I can tell you for a fact is that if you live in Europe, it means that you are actually living the dream of that fashion or that model in Ghana, because most of them want to travel abroad. Because in Europe, they have a better understanding of the fashion industry or the modeling industry than we do in Ghana. I mean, if I had my own way, I'd pay my models very well, but I have to say that because of what we go through in terms of raising sponsorship for our shows, sometimes we find it very difficult to pay our models very well. But then knowing the number of models that you use on the night, like you end up paying so much money. But then in terms of what they make individually, it's just
I understand.
Bigger amount.
Yeah, I understand.
So I think what I tell someone who lives outside is to see what they can do to have that wow factor. You know, that wow factor. They should look out for that wow factor and do it. But whenever they want to come to the motherland, I mean, Ghana is open. I have a nephew in he's in Eastern Europe, somewhere in Eastern Europe. He's in school and he loves modeling. He's been on a few billboards in Ghana. You know, he's not even in Ghana. But then he got a job to feature on some billboards and he's been on. So the most important thing is shining wherever you find yourself. And once you know that you are of Ghanaian origin, people would be very eager to do things with you.
Yeah.
And that Ghanaian connection, if you're very prominent on Instagram, for instance, don't act like you're living in France and you're from Franco Africa. You're from Ghana. Let everybody know that you're from Ghana. You know, have a certain connection with the bloggers, the Ghanaian bloggers. Let them project to you.
I get it. That's true.
Yeah.
That's so true. A lot of people, they find it difficult to relate to, since some of them were not born in Ghana, so they find it difficult to relate.
The two of us have never known each other.
No.
If we've had any conversation, it's not been more than 2 times. But here we are, we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
You have my numbers now. You have all my numbers. So, like, we've become friends.
That's true.
So it starts
that's true.
Yeah, it starts from somewhere, you know.
Yeah. All right. So to them, and one thing I wanted to know, I think that when it comes to modeling, you know, the agencies, they have their criteria, especially when you want to be a model in Europe. The agencies have their criteria when it comes to physique, when it comes to all these things. And most of the times,
you have to be size 0, you have to be a certain height.
Yeah. Most of the times it goes against our people.
No, but hold on. If you don't only have to be a model on the runway, you can be a photo model. And if you're a photo model, you can even be 4.2. It doesn't matter, because all you're showing is an outfit, a garment, and how well it fits on you. So you don't have to be you know, like 6 feet whatever, size 0 to be a model. You can be a photo model and a gorgeous one as well. Except if you be on the runway.
That's true. Yeah, I think I have one who is eager to be on the runway. So maybe after this, we will talk
I mean,
about her.
that's it. If you want to be on the runway, then you need to go by their criteria. But even
Yeah.
with Rhythms on the runway, we've had times when we've worked with people like Akuma Mamazimbi.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I
Akuma,
know her with a big scarf.
Yeah, with the scarf. She's been on a runway on 2 major occasions. Obviously, she's not a size 0, but then it's because of how we wanted our event. But per the European standard, they want people.
Per the European standard. Yeah. So sometimes it goes against most of the Africans. You know, but I have some people who will not hesitate to come, for example, on your events and do it for free.
We're looking at having the event this year, but with everything that the world is going through now, we're wondering. I mean, I woke up 3 days ago. I'm like, Charlie, like people are going to go back to school. The churches are opening now. 100 people can get into any church hall in Ghana right now. Maybe it could get better by September.
Yeah.
So do I call off my events this year, or I should think of having it next year? Like, I'm still contemplating.
Depends on the month it falls.
Well, it goes beyond the month, but if we're also able to raise the sponsorship to pay people who participate, from your technical people to every other aspect of the event.
How do you raise sponsorship for it?
I think my personality has helped, in terms of raising sponsorship for the show. I mean, people know me. I'm sure I have a lot of credibility to my name, and I'm also very resilient in going out to look for money. But then very often we end up spending some of our own personal resources to get it done. I mean, you won't believe it, but maybe my wife on Rhythms on the Runway, my sister-in-law Velma on Rhythms on the Runway, they pay like any other fashion designer that's coming on. Oh. It's business. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. And after these, let me ask you, after these events, do you get the results? Do you get the results after the events?
Well, of course, it really works. I mean, Rhythms on the Runway, for instance, from last year, from the year of return, has been on the BBC. They came down to film. We did post-event interviews. I think the shows run on GH1 TV on more than 3 occasions. And these are platforms that ordinarily fashion designers won't get. It will be people in the music industry. It's a measure of music and fashion. That's why we call it Rhythms on the Runway. Ideally, very often the musicians get a lot more mileage in terms of what they do. But the fashion designers, I mean, the best you probably get is an interview on TV or prominence on your own platform on Instagram. Yeah.
I think now the best way to model, or the best way to sell yourself is on Instagram. It's on social media.
Let me tell you, obviously we are not paying any traditional media to play ads for 1957. But we're making sales because of social media.
Yeah.
Social media is it has its own major pluses, if you ask me, depending on how you deal with it.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to sell, I'm sure you can sell on social media.
That's true. How do you sell in Europe? For example, if I want to buy a t-shirt from or something from...
People would send us DMs, and then my assistant would have a conversation with them. And we send the garments via DHL.
All right. How do you get to know the size of the people? For example...
Well, you send me your size, and I can tell your size by just looking at you. Are either a large or extra large. I just know your chest must be about 42, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, even if you send me a picture, I can just tell your size.
Wow. All right, so it's good. That is what you do. You are passionate about it. Myself, there are times I have to try before. I cannot just say my size like that. So I have to try the thing before.
I go through the same thing. The other day I was asking a brand here, the fashion designer, I was making a shirt for me. I'm like, hey, Nana, I'm in kind of size. I know everybody's size, but I don't know my own size. I'm like, Nana, I'm in kind of size.
You have to try. Yeah. So growing up, what has been that difficult moment that you really encountered? I knew you were in US. And you went back.
I didn't live there. It was in US that I lived for 2 years. In US, it's always been visits, not by
okay. All right. Okay.
What I meant, I think you got that from when I went out to protest, because I have family in the US. My only living auntie lives in New York.
Okay.
And when I go there, I'm a black man. People see you as a black man. They don't care whether you're from Ghana or you're from Haiti. You know, so if there's something going wrong with a black man, I think
we all have to play.
I have to stand up, because once upon a time there's a guy called Diallo from, I think, Gambia or Senegal, and he got shot 41 times. It wasn't because he was from Africa. It was because
is that not a song from Wyclef?
Yes, exactly.
Diallo, it's an old song.
It's an old song. It's a true story.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
But you know, there's one thing that also troubles me sometimes. I think most of the blacks are also divided, and we are a bit divided against ourselves.
Like we're divided from our homes, and then it goes into the community.
Yeah.
And it becomes a country, and then our continent itself is divided.
Of course, because if West Africa alone on itself, West Africa with these few countries can come together, they can do a lot of things.
That was the dream of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah when he got independence in 1957. I don't know if you know this, but the essence of GBC wasn't just to be a national broadcaster. It was meant to be a Pan-African broadcaster. So there are people who got mad at Kwame Nkrumah because he sent money from Ghana to help in the independence struggle of other countries. The dream was to have a united Africa.
Of course.
It wasn't a liberated Ghana. That wasn't enough. Unfortunately, we are failed in that area.
Yeah, of course. Now we are failed big time, and it's today everything in Africa looks a bit scattered and all that. When you come to Africa, you see a whole lot of difference. When you travel to Europe, you see something else. So a lot of Africans are living comfortably in Europe, thinking that, oh, we will never go back again. But that is where we come from. So, you know, the problem starts from our home, like you just said.
You know, like everywhere you go in the world, where you see black people, you always tell, like, we have a way of doing things. It doesn't matter if the person was born in Africa or in Ghana, but we just have our own ways of doing things.
We have our own food.
Yeah.
Whether he was born here or born wherever, he eats African food. So that these are some of the things. All right.
All right. So until we unite as a people, we can demonstrate forever. Like much won't happen. All
right. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, we are really grateful. So I wanted to know, from now to next 5 years, where do you want to be?
I am not the type of person who I don't do the whole like New Year resolution. I don't do that. I think every day is a gift from God, and when you wake up, you just have to do the best you can to affect not just yourself and the immediate people around you, but you have to affect people from all walks of life if you can. You can't satisfy everyone. But I don't do the whole New Year resolution. This is what I want to do at the end of the year. This is what I want to do in 5 years. I'm not that kind of person. No, I don't do that. Like every day is a gift. Live it to the best of your ability.
All right. Thank you very much. Every day is a gift. Right. To the maximum. Right. So Gordon asked a question. He said, KOD, aside fashion and the small acting that you used to do, what is the next? Have you ever acted?
Yes, I've done a few. Adam's Apples, I think I was in chapter 1.
Okay.
And, I think I've done 2 movies with Shirley and a few things, you know, around. Yeah. But no major role. Yeah. I think my challenge with acting is the fact that, you know, they commit what they read into memory. I can't speak someone else's language. I can't speak someone else's English. It needs to be a way. And some of the producers are very keen on getting you to, you know,
to read, to memorize.
Yeah, memorize it.
The script. Yeah.
So it doesn't work for me. I don't know how to do true and poor.
All right. So I think I spoke to Ajite Anand today, and he said the same thing. He said that he also finds it very difficult to do that, especially when it's not in his mother language. He can't do that, and a lot of people find it difficult to do it.
So I didn't know Ajite Anand would go through that. I mean, undoubtedly one of the finest
of course
actors we have on the continent. Of course. I didn't know he goes through that.
All right, he said if you,
it's not so bad though, because I think I'm ready to act again. It's something I enjoy doing.
But now the industry is let's say, yeah. So how?
I mean, for me, I've never done it for money. I've never been paid as an actor. It's never happened to me before. So
okay,
that's something I enjoy doing.
I wanted to ask you this question. Is radio and TV in Ghana does it pay off? Do you have a lot of achievement out of that?
Yeah, I think so. It depends on where you find yourself. Now, when we started, there were just a few of us, just a handful of us doing radio in Ghana. And we've gone through a lot of hurdles. Maybe you're not so well paid. That's why some DJs, for instance, would take money from musicians before playing their music. It's something I don't subscribe to that kind of thing. I didn't do that because right from the onset, I had a certain relationship with musicians. Mm-hmm. Right from the onset, I was producing musicians myself. So I wouldn't say, give me money before I play your music. And really, I mean, Charlie, you know, when you look at my old pictures now, we laugh at my old pictures. But back in the day, it was
on top.
It was on top.
A lot of people don't know.
It was beyond being on top.
Yeah, me when I was young, the only TV personality that I knew was you. The only person I wanted to be. Why? I think it was mainly or mostly the way you dress, the way you wear your suits. And today, I think you posted a picture of you, and I was laughing. I'm like, what is this?
I know. But back in the day, Charlie,
back in the days, it was something.
It was the real deal.
Yeah. So viewers, those of you watching us, I had a privilege to talk to, and the only one person who have been my role model for a very long time. I don't keep them for long. I change them all the time, but this person has been like all the time. Every day you will see him somewhere. And what is this thing about you hosting Ghana Music Awards?
I was on the board. I was on the selection committee of Ghana Music Awards. I've been part of Ghana Music Awards right from the onset. I was part of the production. There was a show called GMA Chat Show. It was hosted by Sipakai. GMA being Ghana Music Awards Chat Show. Yeah. It was a weekly show, you know, like top 10, top 20, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was part of the team. I was the first red carpet host of the Music Awards, Ghana Music Awards. I was on the selection committee. I later got on the planning committee. And then I think I did the red carpet for the longest time. I was the host of the industry awards, and then hosted the main event, I think 3 times. So, I mean, I think if you're one of the best MCs in Ghana, those are events. Once you're able to do those events as well, then it means that you've really arrived. If you call yourself one of the best MCs in Ghana, you've never hosted Ghana Music Awards, Charlie, forget. You are only a big man in your shoes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I will ask you this last question, and then I'll leave you, and we will talk privately. Has there been a moment that you felt like quitting everything, quitting radio, quitting TV? I know now you told me that you not do radio anymore. Is it because of something that you encountered, or is it because you've had enough?
I think I've done enough. But then again, there's one thing that I have to say, like, media relevance is so important. Depends on where you find yourself and what you do. With everything that I do, I think that, for instance, I'd have a TV station like GH1 deciding to come and carry my events live because of the kind of relationship I have with them.
Yeah.
I have TV and radio stations like CTFM who would play my ads for me next to nothing. In actual fact, I've never given CTFM money to play my ads, and it's based on my relationship with them, relationship that we've built over time, and my relevance in the media. I'm a small man. I'm 42. Yeah. I'm not so old, but on how early
you started very young, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm one of the big men in the industry, and I respect those who came before me. So when I need a hand, I always get it. Yeah, I always get it. Yeah, so radio for me, the media has been a blessing to me. Yeah. If you ask me about whether it's very rewarding in Ghana, I won't say it's entirely so, especially now. Like, there are so many radio stations, and there are many people out there who would even want to go and work on radio, even if they won't get paid.
Paid, yeah, of course.
You understand?
Yeah.
And those things lower the standards. And then aside lowering the standards, you probably won't really get paid too.
Yeah.
You paid well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let me take this from Yvonne in France. She said, what are the advice for people who wants to work on radio and TV, especially from Europe to Ghana?
Okay, if you're in France, it means the language, first of all, won't benefit you unless if your English is very good or your tree is very good, because we have the local stations as well.
Let me come in. Yvonne is doing some Facebook program, like show, like a talk show, and she's using tree. Even though her accent and everything, when she speaks, you might know, okay, this person.
People might start laughing at you, but if you have a personality beyond what you do, if there's something, if you have something, you know, if you have that wow factor beyond your accent and the fact that you can't speak the P very well, I'm sure people would eventually accept you.
And she's confident in what she does.
Charlie, Marcus Garvey says, without confidence in self, you're twice defeated in life. So once you have that confidence, you go places.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So the last question, and probably I'll leave you to take some rest and enjoy your weekend. Would you advise me to open my own radio in Accra or do it in other cities or towns in Ghana?
I won't advise anyone to get into the radio industry. I mean, especially with, I'm sure if you're following what's happening, like a lot of people have had to go home in the media in Ghana.
Yeah.
Times are not good. Companies have cut down their budgets for the media, advertising budgets. It's better for you to put money in the pockets of bloggers now than probably put it in the pockets of a TV station.
Yeah.
If you are paying a blogger very well and they have a following of maybe 1 million, come on, can you imagine the kind of eyeballs that gives you? And this is something that you can really quantify. You can actually count.
Yeah.
So TV, radio is not going to die now, but it's oversaturated in Ghana. Now, that's not an area I would advise anyone to put money.
Do you like the job of Ghanaian bloggers?
Some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My favorite is Amea Debra.
Yeah, Amea is okay. I mean, some of them just like sensationalism. They want something to put them out there, you know.
Traffic,
Traffic. So they don't care whether it's tarnishing someone's image.
Yeah.
They won't go by the rules of the game. They'll just do whatever just for prominence. I don't have a lot of credence for such people.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Kofi Okyere Darko, and we will keep on supporting. So, guys, if you want to, from the people watching in France, si tu veux acheter quelque chose, si tu veux acheter une chemise africaine, quoi que ce soit, tu peux, soit tu me l'envoies, je vais l'envoyer directement par message, ou tu peux y aller directement sur son site, la page Instagram de KOD, et tu peux commander directement. Donc, n'hésite pas à commander les choses directement chez lui. Il vaut mieux qu'on lui fait gagner d'argent d'aller chez Gucci, d'aller chez Louis Vuitton, OK? Donc, merci tout le monde et bonne soirée. So, thank you very much. So, your last words to probably people like myself and people who are watching.
The world is going through a very turbulent time because of coronavirus. And, you know, I know you guys have had your fair share of everything that's happening. This morning, I woke up to the very sad news of realizing that we've gone up to about 11,000. I'm really scared. I don't know what's going to happen. And the children are back in school in September. And I'm asking myself, are the kids going back to school or not? Protect yourself by any means necessary. Wash your hands as often as possible. I mean, we all know the needful. So just go ahead, live your life. And whatever you're passionate about, don't stop. Just keep going. When you think that it's not happening and you feel like quitting, that's exactly when
it's going to happen.
Yeah, it could happen. So go on. Just do whatever you're doing to the best of your ability. God bless.
Thank you very much. Do you speak French?
I wish I could. Like, I was actually cringing because, I mean, for everything that I do, that should be my second language.
All right.
But the good news is my daughters are top of their French class, so I'm happy.
Oh, okay. All right, that's good. I think it's not really difficult to learn, but it's hard for any English speaker to do it.
Yeah, for us it is. Yeah.
It's a bit hard. All right. Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Bonne soirée. Bon week-end à toi.
Okay.
Salut. Au revoir.
Bye.
Bye.